How are you feeling, Holly? I took a look at your chart out at the desk, and apparently, you didn't want any breakfast this morning. Holly, I know what you're feeling. Empty, desolate, defeated. But believe me, those are natural reactions, and they will go away. There's plenty of time. But now I want you to think about something, will you? You will be able to have more children. That I can promise you. And that should make you and your husband very happy.
I say she had a restful night? Good, that's good to hear. No, don't wake her up. I don't want to disturb her. Just tell Mrs. Scorpio that I'll be in to see her later. Yes, I'm her husband. That's right. Thank you. Sergeant, were my invitations delivered?
Yes, Commissioner. They should have received them all by now.
Thank you.
Mr. Quartermaine's office.
I've got to talk to him, Randall.
We've been trying to reach you, Doctor. Your father would like to talk with you, too, but at the moment he's on another line talking with the police commissioner.
Meaning he got an invitation, too?
Well, you're to be congratulated, Commissioner. Now that you have 2 suspects under arrest, that should solve the case, huh?
Well, I wish it were that simple, Edward.
Well, anyway, you're making excellent progress, and I admire you for that. I'm calling you for another reason, too.
Oh, what?
I've received your very kind invitation to cocktails this afternoon at 5 o'clock. That was very thoughtful of you.
It will be a pleasure to see you.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be there. And if you issued invitations to Alan and Monica, I'm afraid they're going to have a previous engagement, too.
Well, I have invited them, Edward, and I hope that you can all be here. It's most important.
Most important.
Now, as you
What?
pointed out, I'm now holding Heather Weber on suspicion. And I was hoping that the Quartermaines might shed some light on the story.
Well, we'd certainly like to help, Scorpio. I'm sure you realize that.
Oh, I do, Edward. Your entire family has always been very helpful, and I really appreciate it. So until 5.
Wait, I tried to
Excuse me,
explain...
Edward, but look, I really do have to go. I am visiting my wife in the hospital. See you at 5.
Your son called, Mr. Quartermaine.
Yeah, well, which line is he on?
Oh, none, sir. We concluded our conversation.
Well, I didn't conclude. Get him back, Randall, now.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Holly, it will help you if we talk about it. Won't you say anything?
Everyone knows, don't they?
Knows that you were pregnant? Well, yes, it's in your hospital record, of course.
Oh, Dr. Mason, I'm sorry. We didn't know you were in here.
It's all right. I was just leaving. Ruby, could I speak to you a moment outside, please?
Of course. I'll be right back, Holly.
How do you feel? Holly, the nurses on OB tell me that you're taking this very hard. I'm sorry to hear that. Don't you know Luke wouldn't want you to grieve?
Yeah. Ah, Bobby, you seen Holly today?
I have. I just came from her room.
How is she?
She's withdrawn.
That's all you can tell me, that she's just withdrawn?
Well, I'm just a nurse. I think that if you want more details, you ought to talk to her doctor. I'm sorry, Robert.
Jesse, can I see her?
Yes, visiting hours don't apply to husbands.
Thank you.
Robert.
Robert, I'm so sorry for her. I didn't even know she was pregnant.
Well, we decided to keep the whole thing quiet for as long as we could.
I wanted to ask you, did she know that she was before Luke died?
No. Luke never knew that Holly was carrying his child.
Robert, I'm so sorry. We all are.
Well, give her my love, please.
I will. Excuse me.
Holly, you have got to let go of the past. You must live for today and tomorrow. Holly, I I feel almost as badly. I mean, that was the only part left of Blue. I'm sorry.
Hey, come on, Rube. No tears now, all right?
I'm sorry, Robert. Talk to her. I tried to get through. I couldn't.
Well, now, where do I start? Perhaps with, and I'm sorry. Kind of pointless, I think you know that. Life goes on, Holly. There's the future to think about, and from now on, that's exactly what we're both going to concentrate on.
Why? There is no future. This changes everything.
Oh, I think you know a little bit better than that. To start with, you and I have to stay married for at least a year, and that's for your own protection. Unless, of course, you're considering taking up residency back in the United Kingdom. I think we both know that's out. Well, would you like to hear the progress I'm making on the case at the moment? Yeah. I'm really starting to narrow things down on this Baldwin murder. Do you know something? There are times that I envy Agatha. You know, Agatha Christie. I don't know why. Whenever she tackled a murder, she always knew the ending. I don't.
Anything for you. Listen, right now, all I want you to do is take care of yourself. Now, do you have yourself a lawyer yet?
They appointed me one.
Good. Don't talk to Scorpio unless he's present.
Yeah, the lawyer said the same thing. He said maybe he can get the charges dropped.
Well, how could that happen?
Well, Scorpius was asking me about Susan, and I told him that she was blackmailing them.
Monica,
Hello.
wonderful of you.
Well, we've been looking forward to this.
Terrific. Let me take your coat, please.
Oh, thank you.
I always wondered how a police commissioner lived. Now I know.
In quite grand style, wouldn't you say? This is fun.
Listen, can I make you comfortable and perhaps get you a drink?
Well, I'll make myself comfortable. For me, white wine would just be fine.
Terrific. Alan?
Nothing for me, thank you, Robert.
Hold out.
We're very much aware, of course, that you've arrested Heather.
Yeah, well, I naturally assumed that insofar as that it was given so much coverage by the media.
Do you believe that she committed the murder? Thank you.
I'm holding her on suspicion. I think that should speak for itself.
Oh, really? Is she guilty or isn't she?
Alan, now, as a foremost physician, I would expect you to know something about the law.
You're wrong. I know very little about the law.
Alan, I think what Robert means is that it's not up to him to determine the guilt. It's up to a judge and a jury of her peers.
Right.
I didn't even know Heather had any peers.
Excuse me, that'll be Edward.
Yes.
Edward, good of you to come. Please, come in. Let me take your coat. I'm getting some wine here for Monica. Perhaps I can get you a drink as well?
I'm having nothing, Father.
I'm having a straight bourbon, no rocks, no water.
Ah, man who takes his liquor straight. I do admire that. One Kentucky bourbon coming up.
The two of you wait for me outside so we could talk before I sink position.
Now, relax. If we all just stick to our stories, we'll be fine.
Here.
Oh, Robert, you're not having anything to drink?
Well, I figured I'd take my cue from Alan. Perhaps we'll change our minds later.
I really doubt that. The hospital could call me back at any moment.
Forgive me, I don't think I'm being rude, but... Robert, why are we here?
Well, I need your judgment, Monica. Yours too, Alan. And yours, Edward.
Huh? Judgment about what?
Well, you must have read about Scotty's forgery in Friday's paper.
Reporters, they're a nuisance.
Yeah, well, of late I've had cause to agree with you there. But let's get back to the issue. Let's assume that Susan found out about the forgery. I mean, that's a reasonable assumption, isn't it?
Not really. Susan's a very hard person to deceive. She was, anyway.
Oh, really? You must tell me all about that sometime.
Well, now, look, if Susan discovered Scotty's forgery, that'd be a good motive for murder, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Monica?
Yes, I agree.
I'm sure you all would. Now, turning to Heather, undoubtedly you must have read Jackie Templeton's story in today's paper.
Well, I only read the financial page. All the rest of it's trash.
Well, the trash Edward stated that Heather and Scotty were lovers.
Precisely. Now, I'm asking you, is that not also a strong motive?
Love often is.
Especially when it's clandestine.
Yes, coupled with the fact that Heather hated Susan. Well, I mean, that's not unusual. I mean, almost everybody hated Susan.
Now, to take it once more, we are all in agreement. Heather's relationship with Scotty, and as you pointed out, Monica, her hatred of Susan. As good motive?
Well, it's an open and shut case, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Scorpio, do you mind if I leave? I really do have a very impressing engagement.
Look, I'm sorry, Edward. Perhaps just one more question.
Well, certainly, we want to help.
Good, and I appreciate that. There is one other motive. One that is strong, but also one that we really haven't touched upon as yet.
What motive are you talking about now?
Blackmail. Now, care to tell me about it? Why didn't you tell me that Susan was blackmailing you when I questioned you last?
We had a very good reason.
And I'm eager to hear it, especially why she was blackmailing you.
Well, in the first place, we weren't aware that anybody knew about Susan's blackmail attempt. And inasmuch as it had absolutely nothing whatever to do with the murder, we wanted to keep it quiet.
Why?
To protect Mother.
Yes, dear Lila.
Robert, Lila, before she married Edward, had an affair with a man.
A married man.
Yes, married. And it didn't last long. It was brief, and it was a long time ago. But the bottom line was that the wife of this man found out about it and committed suicide.
And obviously, naturally, that ended the illicit affair.
Naturally. But I'm still a little puzzled here. The fact of the matter is that Lila committed no offense. How could she be blackmailed?
Well, my dear young man, my wife does have a position to maintain in this community. Not to mention the fact of her age, she's very fragile. Public knowledge of her past indiscretion could very well destroy her.
Well, I understand that. This indiscretion, who was it with? I don't think I caught the man's name.
Oh, Chesler.
Yes, Arthur Chesler. Poor Lila has felt guilty about Arthur Chesler's wife ever since she committed suicide. The shame of this whole thing would be just more than she could bear.
Well, I understand that. Incidentally, what was the price? How much was Susan asking from you?
We never knew that.
She was blackmailing you, and you never knew for how much?
Susan loved to play cat and mouse. She was supposed to tell us how much the night she was killed.
But she didn't.
Naturally, how could she? I mean, the woman was dead when we arrived.
Yes, Robert, I realize it. I think we all should have probably told you this, but as Edward said, this was a matter of family dealings that we had with Susan, and it didn't have anything to do with the murder, so we all decided it was best to keep it among ourselves.
This information regarding Lila, Chesler, and the suicide, how did Susan find it out?
Haven't got a clue.
I didn't think you would have.
Well.
Oh, Edward.
Hmm?
When Alan and Monica leave, would you mind staying behind just for a moment?
You want to talk to me alone?
I'll be brief.
Well, I'd certainly appreciate that. I'll catch up with you two later at the hospital.
Very good, Father.
Yes, you do that, Edward.
Well, it's been wonderful seeing you both.
Well, thank you. The wine was delicious, Robert.
Yes.
Thank you.
I've really enjoyed. We must do it again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, Edward, Please make yourself comfortable.
Oh, I'm always comfortable, Scorpio, thank you. Utterly relaxed at all times.
Good.
May I have another bourbon, please?
I'll make it a large. I had a special reason for asking you to stay, Edward. I'm very fond of your wife.
Oh, yes, Lila's a fine person, which is another reason we wanted to protect her. She certainly has been my inspiration.
Then you must help her.
Help her? How?
This information that I have regarding Chester and his wife will, of course, remain confidential with me. But it must be obvious to you that other people could have it. I found out about the blackmailing before you decided to tell me. And if I can find out about it, others must know of it as well.
Yes, I'm afraid you're right. The last thing that Lila needs is headlines with Chester.
Well, let's hope that by then it'll be all minimized. But in the meantime, I think you should try to prepare her.
Robert, I shall do the best I can.
I expected nothing less from you, sir. And you have been a great help to me.
I am always happy to help.
I'll remember that. Well, come on in.
Hello, Robert.
Hey, sweetheart.
I am very concerned about Holly. Ruby is too. So I thought it would be a good idea if I came over and got rid of some of the baby things. That way she won't have to deal with it when she gets out of the hospital.
It's very thoughtful of you. Also, it's an excellent idea. Makes me believe, too, we can get rid of that antique crib at the same time. Perhaps I can find somebody here to come over right away. Can I get you a drink?
No, thank you.
We're very much aware, of course, that you've arrested Heather.
Yeah, well, I naturally assumed that insofar as that was given so much coverage by the media.
Do you believe that she committed the murder? Thank you.
I'm holding her on suspicion. I think that should speak for itself.
Really? Is she guilty or isn't she?
Aren't we sneaky?
No, just efficient. But I was about to say, aren't you sneaky?
Are we being taped right now?
Well, we might, but you'll never know.
Well, obviously Monica and Alan Quartermaine were here. What about Edward?
Can't remember.
Oh, I'll bet you can. What did you want with them?
Why don't we pack the baby clothes? One more thing. Whatever you saw in there, forget it.
Visiting time of the baby. Here he is. Isn't he cute? Okay, here he is.
Oh,
take him now. He must be hungry. No, please give him. It's my baby.
Holly, Holly. Holly, it's all right. It's Ruby. Holly, I'm going to take you back to your room. Come on, darling. That's it, girl. It's going to be all right. You'll be okay.
Excuse me, Bobby, but there's something that I have to see in private.
Say hi to the Quartermaine.
CRS, access approved. I know that. Get on with it. Primary information, Arthur Chesler, correlated to basic information, Lila Morgan. Arthur Chesler, born July 11, 1930, married to Maria Chesler, wife, committed suicide September 10, 43. Chesler, deceased December 15, 81, was major investor in ELQ through year 1984. Lila Morgan. Come on, get on with it. Maiden name Lila Morgan, married name Tolliver? Well, that can't be right. Additional marriage. Lila Morgan, married to Edward Quartermaine, August 10, 1932. Yeah, all right, well, that matches, so what? Let's get on with it. Any more history? Oh, hell, what do you want here? Lila Morgan, married to Crane Tolliver, March of 32. Neither party deceased. No annulment on record. No divorce on record. Can you beat that?